We have interests in India as much as India has interests in Bangladesh. So since it's a question of mutual interest, I think the two sides will ultimately come to a position where their interests can be best served. Immediately after the departure of Sheikh Hossain, there was a vacuum in administration. There was also the problem of policing, because the police had been actually placed against the young generation. When Sheikh Hossain had departed and had resigned and gone away, the police were not in their normal duties. So at that time, tensions and sentiments ran very high. Putting it as an anti-Hindu agitation or anti-Hindu action would be utterly wrong. The violences did take place against mostly Awami League loyalists. We do not condone that. Some violence did take place, but that was not on the basis of whether someone was Hindu or a Muslim.
How do you respond to allegations that the US government manufactured a coup to replace Sheikh Hossain?
I really would not like to make any comment on this, because we cannot undermine the sacrifices made by the young generation, the students and other youth who laid down their lives for a change from the autocratic regime to the possibility of a democratic and inclusive future. It is a supreme sacrifice made by the younger generation, which resulted in the change of government, or if you so please, the resignation and departure of Sheikh Hossain. It was not, as far as I could see at least, it was not really manufactured by everyone. It was a spontaneous agitation that ultimately turned into a one-point demand that the government must change, when it had actually resulted in the death of so many people.
Since tensions are there with India, will Bangladesh now pivot to forces that are hostile to India?
Well, there are people in both our countries who have some feelings, sometimes strong feelings against the other, but that doesn't mean that we have to be in a conflict situation. We have interests in India as much as India has interests in Bangladesh. So since it's a question of mutual interest, I think the two sides will ultimately come to a position where their interests can be best served.
There are multiple instances of Hindus being attacked in Bangladesh. What steps have you taken for their protection?
I would put it in a different way. I would put it in such a way that immediately after the departure of Sheikh Hossain, there was a vacuum in administration. There was also the problem of policing, because the police had been actually placed against the young generation. So when Sheikh Hossain had departed and had resigned and gone away, the police were not in their normal duties. So at that time, tensions and sentiments ran very high. So some incidents were there, but putting it as an anti-Hindu agitation or anti-Hindu action would be utterly wrong. The violences did take place against mostly Awami League loyalists. We do not condone that, of course, because we do not want anyone to take law in their own hands. But the fact remains that in that moment of agitation, some violence did take place, but that was not on the basis of whether someone was Hindu or a Muslim, because you know that more Muslims, if you just count by religion, more Muslims were attacked at that time than Hindus. It was because some sort of an agitation against Awami League supporters was taking place, which we have been able to contain already immediately after taking the reins of the government. And I don't think that there is any complaint of such actions at this moment in this country.
So will Durga Puja be allowed? We have seen protest against it.
This is quite strange. there could be a fringe that may not like Durga Puja, but the Durga Puja has been performed in this country for ages, and there has been no instances when Durga Puja was not held. Certainly, the worshippers who want to perform Durga Puja, they will have the opportunity to do so. There should be no doubt about that.
So, can you elaborate the discussion with Mr. Jaishankar? What are the issues you have touched and what you are looking forward to make the bilateral relations between India and Bangladesh?
I will put it very simply. We both had a free and frank discussion, and we both recognize that we must have a good working relation with each other. I'll just put it that way.
And also some issues and some ongoing projects that is going on with India and Bangladesh. So what will be the future and the trade and also the people-to-people relation, how you are thinking?
Well, trade has been going on. You can think of a short gap just after the fall of the government, but then after that the trade has again picked up, is going on. The projects that are ongoing and has been approved and there are agreements, those will definitely go on. About the people-to-people contact, the visa offices has not opened as yet fully, the Indian visa offices. It is up to them when they do it. It's of course a decision of the Indian government. When that happens and people have the visas to go to India, they will definitely go. Our offices in India are issuing visas for those who are coming for the Bangladesh visa. So I think even if there is a small pause at some time, this will pick up ultimately.
And what are the final words that you want to say that the continuity of the high level of bilateral relations between the two countries?
I think we have a lot of commonalities as well as a lot of complementarities. So I think that bilateral relations, interest being supreme for any country, it is in the interest of both countries. So bilateral relations will normally continue as it is. And as I said, that both countries recognize that they need the help of the other country in maintaining normalcy. So I think that will be there.